Hey everyone, Kane here, and in this video we're gonna talk about 5 things you should know when starting out this game. They will be tips in terms of advice, in terms of stuff that you should look forward to or even acquire playing this game. That will benefit you quite a lot. So, first things first is advice from quite a lot of players. Now, I cannot tell you that most advice from many players or other players will be bad for you. The thing is, just like most of these games, this game has something like an early, something like a mid, and something like a late game. Now, whichever information you're going for or asking, you have to notify what you're asking for. So, for example, if a person comes to me and asks if Valerie is good or if Rufio is good, I cannot really answer that question properly without knowing what type of a stage that player is in. So, for example, if the guy says, I am in realm, I don't know, like 3700, I will tell the guy that no, Rufio is not good and he's god awful because you don't have research. Likely you're gonna have to invest a lot and all of those kinds of things. But if that person is in a older realm like 3500, he probably should have some stuff already prepared for the hero to, I suppose, be at least useful. And if not, you can actually go for like some other heroes. Now, in this game, a lot of people all the time will be wanting to give you free advice, and not always that advice is actually very good. So when you're asking for advice from another player, make sure to check up with a few other players at least. So, for example, at one time you're asking one or two players, they tell you their answer. An hour, maybe 2 hours later, ask some other people as well, or even like throw a comment on the video, and I will try to answer the things as best as I could. It really depends. And that way, you kind of remove some of the mistakes that you're able to make. And quite a lot of people are actually making those mistakes, listening to random people who kind of think they know what they're saying, or they're giving you late game information, which in early game it wouldn't really matter. So there are nuances like that which can more or less end up messing you over. So do keep that in mind. You should double check with multiple people and stating which part of the game you're in. So the other thing is heroes. Now, quite a lot of people would tell you to spend Lunari to get all of the heroes first. Now, it is a bad thing to actually spend Lunari to get all of the other heroes, and simply because it really depends which part of the game you're in. If you're on a new server, you're gonna start to get a lot of events after the first week, and for events like such as Pinnacle, Kingdom Guardian, and a few others, they give an incredible amount of free resources, free materials, and all those kinds of things. And you don't need a lot of heroes to actually pass it. You need only a few heroes. And those heroes are very, very specific. Basically, you have to get Valerie more or less in almost any stage of the game. Deck her out with the best equipment that you're able to gather at that current moment, and then if you're able to buy and 5-star the arcane rod, and then she's gonna solo carry most of the stuff like events and whatever for you, and even secure Linari in quite a lot of them, depending whether you're higher rank in the realm or lower rank. Then you might just pass it without top like 3 in the realm, but if you're stronger, you might even gain Linari from that as well. As well as you will have to save Lunari to actually guarantee a true prism to make these DPS heroes very powerful. So, for example, if I would start anew myself, I wouldn't actually go for getting all of these heroes, and instead I would focus on getting Valerie first, getting this artifact, whether I'm buying or from somewhere else, and then I would focus on getting this true prism on her. Basically, you're gonna literally solo carry or solo win majority of those stage based events with just this one hero, obliterating everything. So that is like one of the things. The other heroes is you can upgrade rather Avril. She does a lot of damage, but mainly with the hero mastery in terms of Arcane 8. Until then, she's like not really that good, but you know, she still is able to do something. And after that, for example, you can get Nora from I think Void 80. If you do happen to get a true Ruby, she's going to do some decent amount of damage as well in the early on, but then she falls off. And she doesn't really perform that well the further you go. Like comparing to Valerie and stuff like that, she's way, way weaker. In other stuff, like there are buffers, there are some DPSs, some other stuff like Basric, he can carry your void levels up to void 80 to 100 rather quite easily. However, if you had a choice between Valerie and Basric, I would highly suggest you to go for Valerie because she's like the best hero for events. Even now at mid stage in the game, Valerie is literally my top hero by far. Just give me a second. I'm just gonna enter so I don't waste time. And let's just check a couple of replays that I had. I don't think that you're gonna see a huge difference in terms of my Valerie. But she's top DPS, my Avril second best, and as you can see, Nora with a proper build with like I suppose a true Ruby, she doesn't really do that much comparing to Valerie. Now, I pretty much think these last few replays don't really have that huge amount of damage, but majority of the time this Valerie is like above 1 million, depending how fast or how long the fight is. Basically, she's gonna carry on to be the best she's able in majority of the formations, at least from early to mid game, probably even scratching late game, she's gonna be the best DPS in your formation. So do keep that in mind. You should not go for anything else other than Valerie. And if you deck her out as early as you're able, you're gonna profit quite a lot. Now, the other thing is Lunari Events. By Lunari Events, I mean I've made videos about Lucky Wheel appearing here. I made videos about golden game boards and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put something on the screen. Uh, I might put a picture or so of the golden game board and lucky wheel. The thing about them is not all of them are actually very efficient for new players. So it depends how much Lunari you're earning from events. It depends how much Lunari you're able to buy. So for example, if you're a new player, I wouldn't really suggest going very ham on something like a lucky wheel. The reason for that is you're not gaining something which is very, very reliable in terms of upgrading. So for example, if you have 24,000 Lunari, you're able to pull a golden game board and you're able to get a true prism in terms of true ruby, or rather a true emerald as I've shown here. One second, in terms of true ruby, and then there is a true amethyst, but in the majority of the cases you should aim for true emerald and true ruby to get some of your DPSs going, and after that aim for at least one or two amethysts depending whether or not you get them from luck, since amethysts do have some pretty decent buffs and debuffs. So yeah, I wouldn't really suggest for people to go ham on Lucky Wheel on the early servers. If you're lucky, then congratulations, you probably got like +5, +6, runestones, maybe a lot of +4. But if you're not lucky, you just wasted so much Lunari that it's really, really so chance based. You cannot really know what's gonna happen. So instead, I would just suggest either Golden Game Board for guaranteed true prisms or Finders Keepers for a Dragon ability. Now, Dragon ability is also one of the very few very, very powerful things. So let's just check one of my server's guy's ability. So he has Dragon Scale, which makes the dragon very tanky, reduces a lot of damage, heals. He has Dreambreaker, which is one of the weaker skills I would mind saying. I wouldn't really advise anyone to actually pick this. I would suggest for people to get Aura Blast though. If you're playing mages and you're gonna be doing like Lich Formation with mages, this skill is probably the best that you can actually acquire in terms of increasing damage from your mages. And if you have Dragon in front of the mages, like this skill, 10 out of 10, best thing that you can acquire in terms of Dragon abilities. As well as a Swell, which would further reduce the resistances. Then you have some other buffs, some debuffs, some tankiness, all that kind of stuff. That is up to you, but highly likely I would suggest this ability as one of the first few, I suppose. You have a choice, either go for DPS or go for some tankiness. So that aside, drama. Now, every realm is going to have drama. You cannot escape drama. You're gonna have people fighting each other. You're gonna have people breaking cities just for events. People are gonna lie to you. People are gonna be complete dicks and complete asses. Like, you cannot escape that. The thing about this game is that you're not really forced into being in one realm. So, for example, if you're having trouble and you don't really like to remain in that one realm, you can easily just transfer to another realm. That doesn't mean you have to like go from your own realm to some very very old one to mess yourself over, right? For example, I am 3616. I can go to something like this, but it would cost me quite a lot. So if you're like a middle tier player and like rank 50, 100 or whatever, and you're getting abused in your server, you rather have an easier time to swap realms and just enjoy another community. Maybe it would be better for you, would be less toxic, less drama, and all those kinds of things. So that is what you can pretty much like about this game, is you're not really fixed into the server or the realm that you have started in. You can actually swap to almost any realm with, I think, a cooldown of 1 month. So do keep that in mind. You can do that for a little bit of a cost. Now the cost is also notified you here based on the projected core ranking. So for example, if you're moving down, the cost is not that high, but if you're moving to younger rounds, the cost is double. So, for example, if you're rank plus 51 in that round, it costs you about 1,500 Lunari. And if you're moving into a younger server, that's about 3,000. So, you can earn that amount of Lunari in terms of 1 week of playing specific events, like even less than 1 week. So, this amount is almost nothing. So, do keep that in mind. So, the last thing is the realms and the communities in them. So, after 9 months of gameplay, you are exiting your last merge in terms of the basic Drake, and you have unlocked the Conquer events. Now, after those 9 months, you're no longer forced into any other merges, and you can select which type of events in terms of merges you want to go on, or if you want to stay in Nor. Now, there are perks of staying in Nor or going to Conquer events as well. So you have to be aware that if you stay in Nor, a lot of people are going to leave for those Conquer events, and you're gonna be higher ranking in your realm and easier time in participating in majority of the events coming up. I'm not going to tell you that you're gonna be rank 1. It really depends on your account and what you're able to do. However, if a lot or enough players leave, you can potentially earn a lot of Lunari from staying behind. However, if you're not able to earn a lot of Lunari from staying behind, it is highly suggested that you go to these Conquer events, because depending which rank you're placing on, you can earn quite a lot of rewards. Sorry, and these rewards are pretty much very, very good. Like, good in a way that they can make particular heroes very, very overpowered. So I can even give you an example in terms of a couple that come to my mind. For example, Rufio, right? I have a Drake set even without going to Drake from Lucky Wheel, which grants his abilities +1, and the Drake set in general for the gladiators have a shield which procs every 5 seconds that blocks 99% of the incoming damage for 1.5 seconds. So essentially, this makes the gladiators quite a bit tanky, and they can kind of heal during that damage immunity and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes I wasn't even like able to kill gladiators just because in those 2 seconds they ended up healing like 20%. In those 3.5 seconds, I did 20%, then they got a shield, and then they healed, and it went like that. The other thing is mage set for Valerie, or rather Avril. Avril's abilities, all of them get +1. She starts to do quite a bit more damage and all those kinds of things, and it is also like a must on her. The other stuff can come in terms of a general set and etc. So I have a general set on my talk as well, and it grants his abilities +1. So, for example, I'm not a Rakan player, at least at the moment, so I have all of his other buffs at level 10, Prophetic Trance level 10, Zen State level 10, and then I upgraded the Clairvoyance to level 8. And that is like the thing. Also, the general set also buffs one of your ranged army with attack and max HP, and also some control is, I suppose, less effective. Now, there are a variety of those Drake sets, but essentially, if you're not able to farm in Nor, it is highly, highly suggested that you go to a Drake or site and you try to get these boxes to upgrade your heroes. Now, that is like one of the better ways of upgrading your account depending what like stage in the game you're in. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. Just wanted to more or less, I suppose, say my 5 things in terms of this game that quite a few people maybe making mistakes on, maybe not getting the right information, or maybe trying to find what to do in certain situations, like even if there was drama on your realm and there were people abusing you. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. Hopefully it was useful to you, and if it was, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. Thanks for watching, take care, and stay safe out there.